What is the rock cycle and how does it shape our planet? An idea that encompasses a huge range of geological and geographical phenomena. My name is Mike and I have a master's degree in geoscience and nearly half a decade's worth of experience in industry. Over the next 5 minutes, I will be answering that question to help you understand the processes that shape the planet you live on, which I guess is why you're here. But first, we need to understand the types of rocks on our planet. So let's start there. Learning about the rock cycle is the ultimate aim of this video. But in order to understand the rock cycle, we are best knowing what rocks are and the types of rocks that can be found on Earth. In geology, a rock or a stone is any naturally occurring solid mass of minerals. There are many different types of minerals in existence and that probably requires a video of its own. But the main ones are quartz and feldspar, which if you want to learn more about, you can watch my shorts video on them, but not before you finished this video. Rocks are categorised by the minerals they contain and the way they were formed. There are 3 main types. Sedimentary. These rocks are formed when sediments are deposited and solidified on Earth's surface. These are often made up of layers that reflect the environment in which they were deposited. They can contain fossils and provide a great insight into conditions of the past for geologists. Igneous. When magma or lava cools, it forms igneous rock. Just to clarify, magma is when partially melted or melted rocks are below the surface. When magma breaks to the surface, it becomes lava. The word igneous is derived from the Latin word for fire. And finally, metamorphic. Formed when existing rocks are subjected to high heat and pressure, which changes their physical and chemical properties. These are the 3 main types of rock, and each probably deserves a video on its own. So let me know if that's something you want and put it in the comments. Now we know the rock types, we can answer the real question. What is the rock cycle? The obvious place to start is with a definition. So the rock cycle is a geological concept that describes the processes that create, destroy and change the 3 main types of rock, which we discussed earlier. For example, in the early history of Earth, all rocks at the surface were igneous, having formed during a very volatile stage of Earth's history. Over long periods of time, these rocks would erode down and be transported and deposited in a new location. These sediments would later be buried and lithified, turning them into rocks. When rocks are then pushed down to the depths and pressures where they can be partially melted, for example at a place like subduction zones, like the one that forms Mariana's Trench, metamorphosis occurs. Uplift during mountain building then exposes these rocks at the surface, where once again weathering and erosion take over to create the sediments and the process begins again. These sediments would be deposited in a sedimentary basin. Then, in areas where subduction is occurring, the original rock could be returned to depths where it melts into magma. This magma can then rise to form a mantle plume, which in turn could create a volcano if erupted, or form intrusive igneous rocks if cooled below ground surface. And then the whole cycle begins again. These processes allow the Earth to continually recycle itself, constantly creating new rocks. In some cases, minerals from the early Earth have survived over 4 billion years to be examined by geologists today. A formation in Australia called the Jack Hills Conglomerate contains 4.4 billion year old detritus zircon, which is a durable silicate mineral. So, to summarise what we've learnt in the video, we can take any part of the rock cycle and follow it round. Start with magma. This can create eruptions and form extrusive igneous rock. This can then subduct and form metamorphic rocks, or could be eroded to form sediments then deposited in a basin. The igneous rock could also be remelted back into magma and erupted again. So that's the rock cycle. If you want to learn more about geology, then check out my geology. That's the rock cycle. If you want to learn more about geology, then check out my Geology of series. I'll leave a link here. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.